The wait is finally over, and I have my hands on the new Atari 2600 Plus. I've been talking about this on my channel a bit. I actually got to play it at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and I have a review unit here. This is the actual retail unit that's going to be available at the end of the week. You can get this on Amazon, or you can go to Atari. The link will be below. I'm going to review this as best as possible. I consider myself an Atari enthusiast, and I've been collecting it a long time. And so sit back, relax. Here we go. Even though Atari sent me a review unit, I did purchase this and the games shown in this video, minus Mr. Run and Jump. And here we go, unboxing the actual console. And this includes the joystick, the 10-in-1 cartridge, kind of an interesting feature. I can't wait to show that. And here is the actual console, about 20% smaller than the original 2600. I will compare that in a bit, and wanted to just show this and unbox it and kind of give you my thoughts about it. So there it is on the back there. That's where the joystick connectors go. Back in the day, that's right, they plugged into the back of the console. There's the HDMI input, difficulty switches there, as well as the USB-C, which is on the right side. There's my serial number. And pretty nice and sturdy unit. I thought the build quality doesn't feel like a toy. Feels pretty nice. Feels about as good as the original release. And so yeah, they went with a 4-switch model. I don't know why they didn't go with a heavy 6er. Maybe it was cost effective just to go with a 4-switch. This is just kind of a simple, hey, this is what is included with this. No power brick. I have an issue when a company does that, especially at the price point of $129. I do believe it should include a power brick. It does come with an HDMI cable, so that's nice. But you know what? If you're getting this for your dad or someone older, they're gonna need a power brick to plug this in. And if you're getting it for like Christmas, it's very frustrating to not have one of those extra lying around. So anyways, just my thoughts about that. So there it is, power cable. This is updatable. This has firmware. That's going to be important later on in this video. And here's the actual 10-in-1 cart. It has dip switches. That is very old school. This unit does not take any form of multi-cart, so it doesn't work with the Harmony cart. It doesn't work with the Concerto cart. It doesn't work with the Dragonfly cart. So any multi-carts have to be with dip switches. I think that's definitely very 80s there. And the switches are fairly small. You can maneuver them. I didn't have a major issue, but for people that don't have fingernails, it's small. But anyways, you have to select the games by hitting certain dip switch positions, and they're on the box. That is okay. I don't know what I think of that. I would have rather had a menu and a multi-cart. But here we go. I'm going to show the actual joystick, which is the strength of this console. Joystick feels amazing. They nailed it. It feels better than the original. I absolutely love what they did with the CX40 Plus, as I think it's fantastic. Has a really nice feel, and I can't wait to check that out with some games. And I just wanted to share that. Here's another picture of the 10-in-1 games. You have the position, the dip switches like this for the 10 games on the console. The dip switches are on the back. The console itself does light up. That's pretty awesome. Here's some size comparisons. Here is the 2600 Plus compared to a 4-switch original, and it's about 20% smaller. And just wanted to show that, as it looks identical, just a little bit smaller. Here it is compared to the Retron 77, which is an alternative to this device. Far from perfect. I did an updated video recently on the Retron 77. The link is below. And here it is compared to the Atari 2600 Junior, and it's a little bit wider, about the same length, a little bit shorter, I guess, on the sides. But there you go. Also comparing it to the 7800, just a smidge smaller than the Atari 7800, which I think is a gorgeous looking device. here you go. Here's the load screen, and it does have a loading time. It's a little bit on the slow side. Hopefully they can speed that up. You have aspect ratios 4:3 and 69. You can stretch out the picture on your HD TV. And yes, combat, and it even has the different game select modes per game as you remembered. And you know what's cool about Atari is there was a lot of different game options and difficulty settings where you could play it easy, you could play it hard. Missile Command, Yar's Revenge. You know, the 10-in-1 card is actually pretty awesome. There's some really good games. Adventure. You know, there's going to be some classics that people are going to remember. Now, Atari is offering some updates to Classics Berzerk Enhanced Edition. This is $30. This is separate. This is not included with the console. And it has some voice enhancements and some quality of life improvements. You have Mr. Run and Jump, which is a new platformer. Another game, $30. These don't come with manuals. They come with like cartridge sleeves. I thought that was interesting. I would rather have a manual. But for $30, you can get these on their website. Fun little platform. So Atari is offering separate games that you can purchase, just like back in the day. I think the price point's okay. I wish they came with a manual, though. The boxes are nice. And I think the $30 price point's okay. I think, hey, include a manual. Collectors want a manual. You are gearing this towards collectors. Please do that. The compatibility list will be updated at release day. And as you can see, about 99% of Atari 2600 games work. There is a 1% that does not work. I want to show a couple of those. And I'm going to test a couple untested games. I don't know why those couldn't have been tested before release. These games do not work, Pitfall 2 being the big one. These games here are untested, and I had them in my collection, so Atari, pay attention. I'm going to be testing for you. Stargate does work. Really excited to see that, as this is a very popular game, and it's a well done arcade classic. And you know what, a lot of people, unfortunately, both copies of my Burger Time did not work. Artillery Duel single cartridge does work. Awesome to see that. Not the best game, but I have a soft spot for these types of games, such as Scorch. Tunnel Runner does not work, and so that's a bummer. That's a good game. SBO, which is a rare shooter for the 2600, it did work and was nice to see that. And you know what? It's going to be hit and miss for some of these untested games, I guess. So bear in mind with that. Okay, unfortunately, my StarPath Supercharger on both cassette tape games and the CD games did not work. Here's some homebrews. I have a ton of homebrews. I'm just going to test a couple of them, as it's going to be hit and miss with those as well. There's going to be an update. Hopefully we'll make more homebrews work in the future. This is Pac-Man Arcade. This is more of a hack than a homebrew, but wanted to show it as a lot of people like that game and play it. Thrust plus Platinum. It did fire up. Halo 2600, a very popular aftermarket game, kind of fun. I actually was at the release party of that in Vegas, Classic Gaming Expo. Unfortunately, you have games such as Space Rocks and Draconian, which are amazing. They do not work currently, as they use the Melody board, and those are incompatible. As well as Champ Games, those games don't work as well. Anything with enhancements on the actual hardware. Princess Rescue, which is a Super Mario Brothers adaptation, homebrew made, and this does work. I had to show this, as some people might be curious to see, what does Super Mario Brothers look like on the Atari 2600? Well, looks pretty good, actually. I also did one on a television. That's another video you may want to check out that I did. Atari offers separately a CX30 Plus paddle bundle with another multi-cart with dip switches, 4 games included. And I wanted to check out, how do these new paddles feel? Well, they feel pretty good. Using them, I was able to play some jitter-free Breakout. Kind of wish that Super Breakout was included, but nevertheless, enjoying a classic game here, and I know many people grew up with this. So I also tested other controllers, so I will show that in a bit. Also, there is Video Olympics and on here, and several of these games have you know, nostalgia factor 100% for people. You know, I enjoyed going back and playing some of these timeless classics, but you may want to dig out your old controllers. Original controllers work fine, as well as Hyperkin's Trooper and Ranger. Original paddles work. Sega Master System controller work, as well as the overseas 2-button 7800 controller, which is popular, as well as a Pro Line controller. Genesis and 6-button controllers, 3-button and 6, both worked with a Mega 7800 adapter. Now, I only got one button to work. There's a couple games that utilize a second button, and unfortunately, I think one of them is on Princess Rescue. I wasn't able to get that to work. So I don't know if it works with other things, but it was one button on that game was only active. So anyways, Atari trackball, I had one. I've had this in my collection a long time, well over 20 years, and I thought I'd dig it out and see how does it work with this new 2600 Plus. Well, popping my old dusty cart of millipede after cleaning it off, popped it into my console and worked great. So nice to see that, and I know there's a lot of people who are happy that it has trackball support. Another major advantage over the Retron 77 is the Atari 7800 compatibility, and so it can play 7800 games. There was 2 games on the updated list which were untested. Tank Command does work, as well as original controllers, and you know what? It's nice to see that. And so, you know, this is a pretty rare game and not the best game, but it's good to know that yet another game has been confirmed. I'm showing it here, original cart on the Atari 2600 Plus, working and being successful. Unfortunately, Rampage does not work. Super disappointed about that. Hopefully they can figure that out. But I wanted to also test Pokey sound, which Commando has Pokey sound. There's some glitching out on the title screen. I don't know what that's about. But as you can see, sounds pretty good. There's a lot of fans of this version of Commando, which many people believe is a lot better than the NES version, flicker free. And so wanted to test some other things, as I'm a huge Atari 7800 fan and have a lot of Atari 7800 homebrew and aftermarket games in my collection, and I wanted to share that to see if it would work. Unfortunately, right now, none of them work. None of the ones that I tested, aftermarket games for the 7800, were working, and that is a major deal. So they need to get on that as soon as possible. But you know what? If you're just playing original library of the Atari 7800, all but one now confirmed to work. An update is planned and hopefully will be offered soon. There's a lot of pros and there is some cons. The pros are that it plays a majority of the 2600 and 7800 library, not 100%, 99% of the games for the 2600, and one big game for the 7800 Rampage doesn't work. Man, those homebrews, they are planning an update. I don't know when, and it'll be as simple as plugging your power cable into a PC and updating it that way through Atari Age. It needs an update. You know, I'm a big homebrew and aftermarket enthusiast. I think the Atari 7800 has an amazing aftermarket library, and this currently can't play any of it. That needs to change. That they need to update. I think they should have probably waited to have that update before they released it. As of right now, I think this has potential, but there are some issues with that, as I'm a huge 7800 fan. But overall, you can use a lot of the original controllers and accessories. The new paddles felt fine. I really like the CX40 Plus. That I think of everything that they've done, they really nailed that feel of that joystick. So all in all, I give it about a 7.5 out of 10. I give it a pass, but it definitely needs an improvement. And overall, I'm looking forward to seeing how this can improve. Hopefully with a potential update or community builds, this can be outstanding. Right now, it's okay. I am a little disappointed that it doesn't have homebrew games for the 7800 working, but hopefully, fingers crossed, that can be fixed, as you know, that's going to open it up and that's going to be amazing. Anyways, what do you think? In the comments below, let me know. And if you're new to my channel, I cover lots of Atari and aftermarket products. I am a retro gaming enthusiast, and if you're new to my channel, you may want to hit that like and subscribe button and click the bell as I'm uploading videos every week. You folks are wonderful and beautiful. Let's keep it positive. This is the Immortal John Hancock, and you take care.